So to give you some information on Glasgow City, where I was born and brought up, Glasgow City is Scotland's largest city. It's a population of 580,000 people. It's the third largest city in the United Kingdom in Great Britain. Glasgow was a small fishing village like 2,000 years ago during the time of the Picts. Where it's situated is Glasgow was built in a valley, the valley of Strathclyde. A strath basically means a valley, that's all a strath means. The region Strathclyde means that it's the valley of the River Clyde, because that's what Glasgow's built around. The River Clyde runs through from the Atlantic Ocean through into Glasgow. To the north of Glasgow you have the Campsie Fells, what we call the Campsies, where people usually go hiking and that. The Campsie Fells, I'm pretty sure, just at the bottom of them, they're the south of the Campsie Fells. The Antoine Wall was built. That was the second wall that the Romans had built, which I would love to go and see and probably take video of to show it for yourself. Where Glasgow's situated, just south of the Campsie Fells, and south of Glasgow, because it's built in a valley, if you just go south of Glasgow into a region like East Kilbride, you will find that you're far higher up. You're up in the hills, so you can see right over Glasgow, purely because it is built in a valley. I mean, I've been told myself that if you were to go way out to the west, if you were to go over to Isle of Arran and climb one of the hills, you can apparently see Glasgow from there. So yeah, Glasgow was built in the valley of the River Clyde. In 1990, Glasgow was awarded European Capital of Culture, and in 1999 Glasgow was voted for European City of Architecture. I'm pretty sure in 2003 it was the European Capital of Sport, and 2005 European Capital of Music. Glasgow in 2011, just recently, was voted as European City of the Year. A lot of people may take Glasgow for granted, and it's got a lot of beautiful architecture, and I'm pretty sure at some point that when the Greeks had came to Glasgow, they apparently fell in love with the city and thus contributed to its architecture. The main architectural design of Glasgow's buildings was by a famous Glasgow architect, Charles Rennie Mackintosh. Glasgow's a city that has a lot to offer, of course, and it does have hundreds of pubs and clubs. Drink just happens to be something of our culture, and you'll find Scots go out and drink occasionally, or some more than others, of course. Hundreds of pubs, clubs, restaurants. It's a very stylish city. Glasgow is also the best city outside of London for its shopping. So there's a lot in Glasgow. HMV, I know over in places like America you might not know what HMV is. It's Home Movie Video. It's a big company here that sells all your DVDs, your music and stuff like that. Although at the current time I think their company is kind of in trouble. It's like that bookstore in America that was big here at the point, Borders bookstore. That was one of my favourite stores, and unfortunately they had to close down because of the way things have gone. Businesses are struggling, and it seems to be that because, home movie video, because of like DVDs and CDs and stuff like that, people are just buying them offline on the internet. There's a lot of shops outside. There, a lot of clothing shops for guys and women. There's a lot to offer in Glasgow for what you want, whether it's just to get stuff like second hand shops, or going to get food or whatever. There is a lot to offer, and that's just the town alone. The town's quite large. I mean, I've only shown Buchanan Street and several other streets. The town alone is quite large. There's a lot of other shops. There's your retail parks, one of which is the Glasgow Fort or Parkhead Forge Retail Park. There's several others, and I don't know if you would classify Bray Head as part of Glasgow, but Bray Head, it has a lot of shops around that area, shopping centre and stuff. So in terms of shopping, in terms of going to get something to eat, in terms of all your stuff like what you want, there is a lot there to offer in Glasgow. So it's a great city to be in. It's got a wonderful atmosphere. You would love the people in Glasgow. The people in Glasgow are not scared, to introduce themselves to you. They're not people who keep themselves to themselves. You tend to find Glaswegian people are very friendly, and they will go out their way to help you. Sure, there are certain folk. Don't get me wrong. In every place you go, there's going to be arseholes. There always is, and it doesn't matter where you go in life. I tend to find that. And when it comes to Glasgow, in the majority, you will find Glasgow a very friendly city. It's a metropolitan city. That's what Glasgow is. So your west end of Glasgow tends to be more, I would say, more of your foreigners and that. You tend to find your Italians, your Americans, even the Irish, and English. Doesn't matter. There's so many folk out there in the city alone.